Hello, everyone. Simply remain as open as possible to your experience, whichever way it is unfolding, whatever appears to you. Be completely absent. There is no effort required. Yeah. Deep letting go, resting, relaxing, allowing, being. not knowing. Whatever needs to be done is done through you and not by you. And yet it is done by you as universal beingness. Your life is a series of frames appearing to you as images and sensations, fleeting. There's no need to grasp anything. Grasping, you're attempting to protect, safeguard a ghost, a limited sense of self, which is trying to get somewhere, feel something, experience something, to be someone, to be acknowledged. Yes, we do love to be loved, to be appreciated, to be accepted. We all share this love to be loved. To be recognized. Can we do so without grasping? To know when to step back, to know when to be silent and still, to be quiet. This causeless silence is our very nature. At the heart, at the core, is this tender, silent, aware presence. that from which everything arises and returns to. There is harmony in which a river flows, a stream, the movement within the ocean. The harmonious dance, which is completely impersonal. There's no separation in this flow. And we be completely absent in this flow, and as this flow no one doing anything or owning anything. To let go of our knowledge, which comes from the past, to be free from stuff, mind stuff, and to be transparent and easy. To embrace whatever is appearing within, embracing it without knowing it. No distance and no narrative. No, it's within the body mind. They rise up. They want to manifest. They want to run the show. But we've been there before. Old patterns, self-judgment, judgments of others, narratives we have about ourselves, which we repeat and repeat. What if we do not know what we are? to be available this moment, naked, burdened, open to listen without knowing, and to speak and share without knowing. So, beauty, harmony, meeting freshly, meeting oneself freshly, meaning whatever's appearing inwardly, outwardly, it's all oneself. To see the pattern and just to remain with the seeing. There's light in awareness, this silent perceiving. We may at times experience an inner angst that we would like to resolve, fill it with love, somehow give it to the mind so that the mind can ride with it. Habitually, we do that to see this within oneself. Impatience with what's appearing within and what's appearing in our life. Wanting things to be different. Who is it that's behind the scene that feels incomplete? Who is that? This is not a question to be used in order to bypass whatever is appearing. But it's a question that can accompany what we are experiencing, what's appearing to us. To dig a little deeper. Can we honor each other's freedom without knowing better may seem difficult at times, especially in relationships. I think we know is something we know, but the true wisdom lies in pure not knowing, which is wordless, not a word, not a dissertation about not knowing. The heart of it. We are where we need to be. Everything which is appearing to us can be an opportunity to explore, to discover. To explore the true meaning of being, not knowing, at the heart of what is appearing to us within our body, within our mind. Holding on to nothing. There is intelligence that guides the body mind to use this intelligence graciously, to be stubborn, We are one in love and truth. So if you have any questions, anything you would like to explore, please make sure to unmute yourself. And you're welcome to turn on your videos if you care to. Any questions?
So, Magdi.
Beautiful, guys.
Thank you for this beautiful meditation and the reminder, the presence. And you say we are one in love and truth. And to me, this is not a belief. I can really experience this at times. Is there any kind of responsibility to this knowing, to this reality, or is it just, it's not a casual entertainment, it's not a painkiller?
Yes. There is a responsibility for each one of us to discover always in the moment. And the responsibility is how we are in this moment, how we respond, how we think, how we perceive, how we behave. So we are one in love and truth, means there is no separation, no duality. The other is myself. All is the self. It's only one truth, one reality, one Brahman. And in this waking dream, we interact. We react, we behave. There are different mind, world, body events that appear to us. So the understanding about truth and love reflects itself, expresses itself in how we act, how we live, how we behave, how we talk, how we listen. And the invitation is always there to not be in time. And to, one could say, live this experience as best as possible, but not in time, not as a subject of the experience, not as a somehow deeply affected by the experience. It's a very interesting exploration because we are not separate from the experience, so there is certain effect that we experience. But the mind of time, the mind of the past, is infected. You have to be watchful. That you are completely surrendered to this unfolding. And to return to no mind. To return to presence, not in time, knowing nothing about presence. I know nothing. And of course, we are constantly receiving messages. Thoughts appear to us, various emotions, sensations. To discriminate, viveka, the discrimination between that which tend to take you into the me story and how to let that go and get deeper, as a way of speaking, into the naked experience, in a way, the raw experience. It's dynamic. It's a dynamic process, and it's an inner process, which, of course, manifests itself outwardly in our behavior, in our speech.
Our showing up.
Our showing up?
Yes, showing. I mean, yes. I mean, if someone tells me,
It depends how you're showing up. What is showing up, you say?
okay, yes, okay, there I see. I mean, I see the body mind. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I hear you.
There is definitely showing up, which is
Yes, okay.
what is showing up? Who is showing up? How is showing up?
Yeah.
Yes, the option to showing up is to hide in the mind or in some sort of narrative or some sort of belief or some sort of story. Or so, but when in your nakedness, in your complete presence, showing up is. It shows up. There's no. So
It's no other.
when you're not showing up as something in time from the past, when you're showing up, when you are showing up from the past, you're not showing up. You are showing up when you're actually not showing up. You see what I'm saying? In not showing up, you're showing up. In not showing up as a narrative or as
Okay, good.
As a mind, the mind.
Yes.
So we perceive the mind, and that which perceives the mind has already shown up. It's there.
So even if I don't see you, Magdi, during my day, you're always there, according to your words right now.
Depends what you mean by Magdi. If you
Okay.
mean by Magdi, this old man, whatever, it depends what you mean by Magdi. Then, no, your day, I'm not showing up, except, now in this meeting, in some way, I'm to a certain extent, Magdi is showing up. But being, awareness, that which is hearing these words, that which is not named Magdi or Holger.
Yes. But it appears as Magdi or
It appears as everything, nothing. It appears as the flower, as the wind, as sound, as music, as the sunshine, as thought, as memory. All appearances arise from consciousness to consciousness. Where would they arise from? As an option, where is there like a thought factory which we're going to discover when this body dies? We're going to discover in everything is showing up right now in this moment, in awareness and out of awareness and to awareness, right? So yes, it shows up as everything and at the same time nothing, because it's self-knowingness is inherent to it, to being, which is non-phenomenal. It's not showing up only in Namarupa names and forms.
yeah, okay.
Of
Yes,
all.
yes. I'm just still so attached to name and form, I guess. Yeah.
Sure. The main attachment is the me structure. So the me structure is mind. When I say mind, it includes sensation. It includes memory, thoughts, but it also includes likes and dislikes and so it's like that sometimes you put rubber bands around each other and then it become a little ball, and you keep putting more rubber bands and then it becomes a big ball. I don't know if that's a good metaphor, but so the me structure is we just keep on adding to attachments to thoughts, sensations, and beliefs, and opinions, and narratives. Of course, thoughts appear to us and we share them or we don't. But it's one thing to be attached to a thought,
Yeah,
to be, you know. So the question, what is it? What is it that is holding on? What is it?
the wish to experience. I mean, I'm super grateful that you showed up here to Satsang, and it helps me enormously to see another person seemingly.
Yes.
For some reasons, I'm not yet holy enough to just be 24/7 in deep silence. I still have some life force in myself, and I want to dance. And it's selfish, maybe, but I cannot help it. It's just bubbling up. Like,
So in a
yeah,
way, this is part
yeah,
of the dance here, but
yeah.
but we're not coming here to dance. There is a
No,
higher
no.
purpose in
Okay,
our,
yeah,
which
yes,
is
okay,
to come to understanding about the self, about the reality, about our true nature, right? So
absolutely.
you have an option. I mean, you don't need to come to this. You can go to a theater. You can go walk by the beach. You can swimming. You can dance. There are zillion ways in which you can dance, and you want to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can experience a zillion things, right? You see, you can experience a zillion things. But you know what? You're never experiencing more than one thing at a time.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, absolutely.
So when we say that, oh, I want to experience, you're experiencing. When are you not experiencing?
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe what we mean is, oh, I want to experience something specific. I don't want to experience that. I want to experience this. Okay, so then you do your best to experience this. Some people climb Mount Everest. They want to experience planting, the Soviet flag on top of Mount Everest, whatever. So they train for 2 years or whatever, and they do. But we're
So
always.
so it was the wrong word. I mean, it's not
Uh-huh.
sorry. I mean, so it's not experience, but just to be like being challenged in a healthy way, or just being like meeting you here right now. There's an aliveness, there's presence. And I don't have this when I'm by myself in my little me bubble. So I showed up here and you showed up, and I find this enormously precious. And over the years, it really helped me a lot in in discerning my own nonsense. I mean, to grow up a little bit.
So, yeah,
Again, the wrong words. I mean, all my words are kind of wrong. I mean, I cannot help it.
words, they're tools, right? Okay, so right
Yes.
or wrong, they're just tools. So you're expressing something, you're sharing something, I'm receiving something. So I respond, maybe off, maybe I misunderstood, whatever. This is language. So, yeah. So, uh, some messages come to you about the need to interact. So you come to satsang and it's available, and we have a wonderful conversation. Some other thoughts may arise to you to explore this, to explore that. So you do. You have your complete freedom to explore certain experiences that stimulate you, that provide you with some fulfillment, that provide you with some happiness, that provide you with some beauty, that provide you with some joy. Yes, of course. I think just consciousness loves that. I mean, go for it, go for it. And the universe will tell you, yeah, this is great. Yeah, you want to play the piano, so you find a teacher, you find a, you start playing the piano and you start to enjoy it and you're loving it and it's fantastic, or the experience may be that you really want to play a musical instrument and you decide to play the piano and then find a teacher. So you go to the teacher, it takes you an hour to get to the teacher in traffic, and then the teacher is so, not very pleasant and tells you, okay, you have to, pay me $200 an hour, plus you have to go buy this piano for $4,000, and it may not work out, right? So
Yes.
the universe will tell you, oh, well, okay, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe you're stubborn. You continue. You go there twice, three times. You even give them $200 four times, and then they say, okay, did you get the piano? And then, damn, I have to get $4,000 to get the piano. You may try it out for a while, and it may open up. It may work out that after meeting you for three times, the teacher will say, wow, you're really very, very good student. I think I'm going to give you lessons give you lessons free or give you lessons at half price. And you know what? Don't worry about the piano. I have an extra piano. Just pay $50 for the transportation. I'll have it shipped, over your, so the universe
Now,
will,
now we are talking.
yeah. So the universe responds to you,
Yeah.
it guides you.
It's Magdi, the love you are sharing here right now in Satsang, it's the same love you shared with Tara. Isn't it the same love?
Some love.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes. More I don't need to know. Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Kunal. How are you?
Very well. I haven't spoken to you in a long time.
Okay. Good to see you.
I had a question which I think I've been, I guess, mulling over for some time, trying to understand the I guess the inner mechanisms. But when I'm following the meditations or when I'm contemplating non-duality, and there's the invitation to rest in awareness, to let thoughts come, sensations come, feelings come, etc. I notice that the awareness that I settle in feels, I guess, like conditioned consciousness. I'm relying on there being some kind of perception which I can refer to know that I am not that perception. I'm the awareness, but I guess I don't recognize a consciousness that is free of perception, if that makes sense.
Oh. Maybe I understood your question. So there is a tendency to conflate the reality which perceives with whatever is perceived. And as a result, there is a mind narrative which concludes that consciousness is there because or whenever a perception is on board. We overlook that we are aware, or that awareness is, and knows that it is directly. So the rays of the sun, if you look at the sunshine, all the rays of the sun are made out of the sun. They're as a metaphor. Imagine that the sun knows that it is the sun. So the sun is made out of knowingness. It knows every ray, every atom, every bit of sun is made out of this knowingness, because the sun is nothing else but all its rays. So the sun is a knowing sun, and every ray of the sun knows that it is the sun. It is a ray of the sun. It is not separate from the sun. It is the sun. Now the sun reflects on the moon. So there is what we refer to as the moonshine, the moonshine. The moon goes, the sun exists because it shines on me. And if it's not shining on me, it is, what are you talking? There is no sun. See? I know I am aware. Not I know that I am aware that the satsang right now, and that I'm speaking with Kunal and Kunal is speaking with Magdi, which is also true, but that's not what I'm looking at. I'm pointing to, I know that I'm aware. So you know that you're aware. When you say, I know that I'm aware, you do not say, I know that I'm aware because I'm Kunal and I'm thinking about consciousness, and as a result of me thinking about consciousness, I now know that I'm aware. You don't say that. You could say that, but that's not what you say. You say, I'm aware. Do you know you're aware? Yes, I know I'm aware. So the mind overlooks that. The mind says, oh no, you know that you're aware because there is a human body, there is a brain, and there is mind activity, and there is thought, and there is an experience, and because of that, you know that you're aware. Because of that, you know that there is awareness. So it's like the moon that says the sun exists because it's shining on me. Now, if you're perceiving something and you say, I'm aware because I'm perceiving something, you are making an assumption that awareness arises out of the perception. The only way you can make that conclusion is if you have some evidence that awareness arises out of the perception. Our experience is that perception appears in awareness. Our experience is not that awareness arises out of the perception. That's not our experience. Our experience is a tree, the oak tree, appears with an awareness. So we confuse reality. We attribute reality to the oak tree. We attribute reality to the perception. Because we say if consciousness is real, it's arising out of awareness or out of a perception. Therefore, the perception is either more real than awareness or at least as real as awareness. But if you contemplate the tree in the yard, the perception, you find that the perception doesn't have any lasting value. It's constantly morphing. And awareness, meaning the reality which perceives, is not morphing, has a lasting value. So we are conflating phenomena which has a non-lasting value with consciousness which has a lasting value. And we are making the conclusion that that which has a lasting value, arises out of that which does not have a lasting value. So sometimes we use the word illusion and reality, or phenomenal and noumenal. But I think you see what I'm trying to say. So it's a good idea to think about reality. What is it that is real in your experience? And to stick with reality. So when you are in meditation and you're experiencing, in fact, you don't know what you're experiencing. But there is something within your experience which is appearing. And there is, in your experience, the awareness, that which is not appearing, that perceives anything which appears. That's your experience. So the heart of the meditation is doing nothing. Is simply doing nothing, which means we are not trying to get a certain experience. No. We're simply doing nothing. It sounds, but it's not that simple. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's not that easy. And when I say doing nothing, I do not mean at all to get rid of thoughts or to reach a certain state, because that would be doing something. Or to think, to figure it out. I figured out what awareness is. No. Because that'll be just some thinking or some I don't know what it would be. Doing nothing has no depth or an endless depth. There is endless depth to doing nothing. Whenever you think that you figured it out, you're doing something. Whenever you think you've reached it, bottom or whatever it is you've reached, you're doing something. But you could experience that you've reached bottom and that achievement is embraced in doing nothing, meaning it is not grasped onto, it's not held. Because a thought may appear. Complete freedom of consciousness. Hey, Kunal, you got it, man. Right? You got it. Awareness, consciousness, but whatever it is, you got it. That which appears, that also as well. We do nothing about it. Nothing. We don't grasp anything. We don't hold on to anything. We're not walking away with something.
I think that's really helpful. I think the quote that keeps coming in my head as you were speaking is I don't know if you're familiar with it, from Rene Descartes. I think, therefore I am. And I think that's the bind that I find myself in. That I need something there. I need the moon there to reflect the light off, to recognize I am. And I think that the error the mind makes is that without the thought, without the object, I am is nothing. But actually, I am is infinite. It's beyond the mind.
There is no because to I am.
Yeah.
In the mind, there is the because. Cause and effect. A causes B, B and C and D cause F, whatever, in the mind. There is no cause to being. There is no cause to the cause. Or there is no cause to the causeless. There is no cause to that which is beyond cause and effect. Cause and effect are in the realm of the mind. And it's helpful, for example, in science or other, it's helpful to a certain extent in the navigation of the human body canoe. It's if the reason why I paid $250 in court today was because yesterday I was driving at 95 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour zone. Yeah, that's the effect of cause. But what we are talking about is non-phenomenal. I think, therefore I am, Descartes is confusing the I with the human body, mind, organism, whichever way he conceives it. And even in his formulation, in his assumption that I refers to a personal organism, even I think, therefore I am, is false. Because he is focusing on thinking as if thinking is independent of the galactic fields in the galactic universe. Try removing the galactic field and tell me what your thought is. We cannot conceive of that. We cannot conduct that experiment. So on what basis and with what arrogance does Descartes disregard the galactic field and conclude that I think thought proves that I, the body, mind, organism, is? It's a childish, it's deeply flawed on both ends. On I, his understanding about I, and on his conflating the body, mind with thinking. Try to think without any heartbeat. Let's say your heart is, anyways. So
it's interesting because I actually interpret the quote slightly differently. I've not studied his books or anything, but I interpret it almost as I think, therefore I know I am. The thinking is the existence that proves the existence of awareness, if that makes sense. So again, it's getting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that if you want to use his lingo, I think, therefore I know that I think.
Mm.
Or I think, therefore I know that I perceive thinking. And I think it's smart for him to say, I think, therefore I know that I think, because consciousness is the only game in town. But I don't think that he even touched that, at least in that statement. I'm not talking about, Descartes brilliant. I mean, I don't know much, but I'm just focusing on just what we're talking about right now. So I am because I know that I am. And I do not know that I am because I perceive a thought or I perceive a butterfly. I know I am directly. There is no way to be without knowing that you are. There is no way to being without knowing. There's no being without knowing. Being and knowing are, that's why in the Sanskrit they refer to Satchitananda, And we don't need to add anything else. So actually, in the Sanskrit, they do, they do express, Satchitananda Namarupa, name and form as well. They include name and form. It's very important not to disregard name and form, but it's not Namarupa Satchitananda. It's Namarupa Satchitananda. The name and form do not precede being awareness. Being awareness is the source. It's the heart, is the core. So you are because you know that you are, and you know that you are because you are. It's built into the rays of the sun to know that it's a sun, as a metaphor, going back to the previous metaphor.
Mm. And the nature of the sun is that it has rays, and the nature of the rays is that it comes from the sun.
I mean, all metaphors are, of course, limited. One could say that awareness, knowingness, or being, or reality, self-knowing, being, such it, being, knowingness, as a way of speaking, in quotation, shines onto the mind and shines onto the world. But I sometimes use this terminology, but you have to be careful here in that it's not that there is a mind out there and then the awareness, shines under. It's not like the sun. There is a sun out there and the moon is, in so many miles away, and then the rays of the sun travel to the moon. It's a little bit different here in that this metaphor is limited because the mind and the world and the body, we never experience them. We only experience our experience of the body. We only experience our perception of the world. We do not experience the world. You don't perceive a mountain out there. You perceive your perception of the mountain. And your perception of the mountain is not separate from you. Your perception and you, meaning the perceiver and the perceived, are one. Now, I am not making the statement that there is no mountain out there. I'm just talking about awareness, our experience. We're always experiencing our experience at zero distance. So we're always experiencing ourself because our perception is not separate from the I, right? Awareness and the mountain and of the perception and the perception are separate. Now, when it comes to, is there a reality out there? Is there a mountain out there? And the answer is yes. Why not? I mean, on what basis would I say no? What I say, yeah, I mean, most likely, I mean, I'm open to, there is a world out there, there is a mind at large, and there is, a body at large even. I'm open to all of that. But the reality of this world, of these worlds, and the reality of these minds, or the reality of world, body, mind, is the one reality. One reality. And that one reality, we know it experientially as I, awareness or consciousness or Brahman, or that the changeless aspect in our experience.
Yes, I think I guess my question was then going to be, if you find yourself identified with this as I described it, conditioned consciousness, then how do you, I guess, make the leap or the switch into unconditioned consciousness, into pure I am that I am? But I guess the point is there is no magic to it. It's just a recognition of the light that is always switched on.
Yes. At the same time, I wanted to ask you to say a little bit more about conditioned consciousness. You're talking about, like, say some more about the conditioned consciousness, or just to
I guess like when you were saying before, if you were to ask the question, do I know I am? Instinctively, without really any effort, I can almost notice my mind is moving to some kind of subtle object. So it's either looking for a thought or a sensation in the body. And I guess that's what I mean by conditioned consciousness. It's the light shining off the moon back into the sun, if that makes sense.
It does. So there is a certain contemplation. You contemplate. You think about these things. In spite of having a tendency to jump on the conditioned consciousness, using your terms, bandwagon, on occasion you can just take a pause and say, wait a minute, I mean, do I know that I am because I'm perceiving, I'm listening to music? Or do I know that I am because I am?
Mhm.
So, so you shut off the music and then you ask yourself, okay, do I know that I am because now I'm hearing the silence? Or do I know that I am because I am? And then you shut off the lights. You say, do I know that I am because I'm perceiving darkness? Or do I know that I am because I am? How do I know that I am? Do I know that I am because I'm perceiving something? And what proof do I have that because I perceive something, I know that I am? What is that jump that I'm making? It's an assumption. An assumption. In deep sleep, I'm not perceiving a mountain. I no longer am. Is the I am gone? It's a good question. For you to contemplate. And what is it that wakes up? Or what is so suddenly there is a noise, siren, at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the body, comes on board. There is hearing the siren, and now I am. And experientially, right now, there is something which perceives. Do you perceive that which perceives?
No.
Can you deny that which perceives, that there is that which perceives? I don't know if I'm speaking it to good English, but
No, I can't deny either.
and so there is right now that which perceives, which is unperceived. It has no colorship sounds, and it's undeniable. And if it's on right now, could it be that it's on all the time?
Mm.
You can, like an hour from now, if you can maybe press the pause button and go again through the same questions we're having right now, me and you, like right now in this moment, there is something which perceives, which is not perceived, has no color, no shape, no sound, no. It, is that which is undeniable, is that created because there is a perception? You know what I mean? I mean, does this come on board like suddenly this formless reality? It came on board, or it's coming on board every second because there is a perception, and when there is no more perception, it it is well, I guess, or it disappears, or one could say, well, there is never no perception, so therefore it's ongoing because there is always perception. Right? If you abide by the philosophy that it's always perception, and therefore there's always this transparent awareness because there is always perception, then what you are saying is that because there's always one perception without any gaps, that there is only one perception.
Mm.
But it's illogical. We all know that we perceive 1,000 different things, 1,000 different sensations. There were billions of different thoughts. So then the question is, okay, if there are two thoughts, then there must be some two different thoughts. Today is Sunday. The other thought is, I love spaghetti. There must be some gap between them. Is that this formless reality, which right now perceives, does it sort of disappear then, and then it reappears and disappears and reappears? And is this the model that we're presenting? I mean, it's interesting to look at that because, wow, then our experience would be like, I am, I'm not, I am, I'm not, I am, I'm not, I am, I'm not. And it's going on so fast that, the brain can't take it. And it says, okay, look, I cannot take all of that. I'm just going to assume that I am all the time. And I'm going to assume that all my experience is one thread. one string. That's heavy stuff. Being knows it is. It is not a blank state. Consciousness or reality is an aware reality, aware and creative. But it's complete freedom. If we say that reality exists because perception exists, that's a limitation upon reality. Because there is a because, or as long as there is perception, therefore there is reality. That's not complete freedom. And somehow we have a deep sense about freedom. It's not like something that somebody can take away from us. They can take away our house, they can take away our arm, they can take away our money, but they cannot take away our freedom. They can scare the hell out of us, but they cannot take away our freedom. Anyways.
Yeah, 'cause I guess the example you gave about deep sleep, because I guess the from the mind's perspective, and using your previous example, let's say the mind is the moon onto which the sun shines. From the mind's perspective, there is no continuity through deep sleep. It kind of,
from the mind's perspective, there is no sun.
yeah.
Why? Because the sun is not shining on the moon.
Yeah. But at the same time, I've got no reason to believe the mind's story that there is no sun, because I know there is a sun, even if I'm not shining on anything during deep.
You're aware that you had deep sleep. You're aware that you slept. When you say you slept, I'm not talking about dreaming, or I'm talking about the deep sleep.
But I'm only aware once I've woken up, once the mind is active again. You know what I mean?
Right. But you're aware that you slept.
Mm.
Irrespective, you're aware that you slept, right? We cannot argue about that. I'm aware that I slept. Yeah, I slept, I dreamed about this and that and that and that, and then I slept, and maybe it didn't feel like I slept too long, but anyways, I'm aware that I slept.
Mm.
There may be narratives around it. Yeah, I'm aware that I slept not for so long, not too long, or maybe it was between 4 and 6, whatever. But still, there is awareness that I slept.
Mm.
That says it all.
Yeah.
Is a ground of being, a creative ground of being. It's grandiose ground of being. It's a magnificent ground of being with infinite creativity, beauty, splendor. And this waking dream, as far as I know, is to wake up to that. To whatever extent we do. And it's shining full blast 24/7. It's the elephant in the room. It's the I am. This knowingness, which is Brahman, an impersonal knowingness, an impersonal beingness. That is shining onto the moon. the body-mind Megdi, the body-mind Kunal, memories of Kunal, certain events, it all appears in awareness. You can remove the mountain, but you cannot remove awareness. You can remove the mountain by dropping, by, I don't know, cutting the mountain or whatever with big machines. But you won't remove awareness. There isn't a machine, a big machine that can make awareness a little smaller or something. And this awareness is alive, is the reality which perceives right now. That we know it as I. It knows itself as I.
Yeah, the sun shines even if there's no moon for it to bounce off.
Yeah, there are full of metaphors in the universe that basically pointing to that same, and we use them because they're there. It's like we're like waking up from the dream. In the dream, you experience a billion things. This is because of that, and this has happened to this, and you wake up and you realize, what? What was that? Nothing was happening. There are many metaphors, in the universe.
Thank you, Magdi. Really, really appreciate that.
Hey, Knell, good to see you. Wonderful. Yes. Welcome. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you all. Very, very lovely to be with you. Very sweet. Nice to see you all. Wonderful. Yes. Okay. Yes, that's great. Beautiful. Okay. Welcome. Yes. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, Magdi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
you.